Testing 1 2 1 2. All right, hopefully I fixed all the stuff from last time. Looks like cool. Mic should be on. I think I'm streaming to YouTube right now as well. Hopefully I did it all right. I swear I had all my stream stuff set up from when I used to do this a while ago, and then I tried it the other day and like half of my stuff did not work, so hopefully it's working now. Just make sure. Little Instagram story. What's up, Nicole? Yeah, man. Back to the streams. How you been, brother? Dude, it's so funny. I've been using one of these apps that's like supposed to help you like not use your phone as much. Like it's supposed to help you with like it takes suggested reels off your Instagram, it takes ads off YouTube. And it's really cool. It definitely helps. Like when you log on to Instagram or you log on to TikTok or something, you only can see the people that you follow. You don't get any recommendations, which is great. Until you need to post. When you need to post something, like you try to log in and it's like, oh, this app is blocked. You can't post here or whatever it is. So that's been very funny. I was just trying to figure that out. Hey, Raymondy288, Screaming Legends salute. How are you, my friend? I'm not sure if I've seen you in a stream before. Like I said, I used to stream. I was pretty good at like staying on the ball maybe like a year ago, and then just been getting busy with life and work and stuff, so I haven't streamed in forever. But if you've been here before, welcome back. If it's your first time, then thanks for showing up. Leviche, remember you as well. Long time no see. Yes, I know. We're doing some live streams, man. It's fun. I've been doing a lot of recording recently, and I've been working on improving the setup, like my camera and audio setup for my streams. Well, and not just for streams, but also for like I want to do a better job of like making videos and content and shit while I'm recording. So if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen I've been working on changing the setup in the booth to make sure that's like I got a new camera set up in there. I got like all my cables run. I got a second capture card so I can record video straight from that feed while I'm singing. So hopefully it will lead to more cool stuff like this. I think once I do a couple more streams, you know, I'm still kind of like getting my sea legs back with it. But once I do a couple more streams, I think we'll do like streams while actually recording, which I think will just be, the coolest part. We did a couple of those maybe like a year or so ago last time, or back when I was streaming these more regularly, and it was a lot of fun, man. So yeah, all good things. Like I said, today I have a little bit of vocal editing to do, like nothing crazy or super exciting, but I'm just trying to like get back in the habit of like just streaming while I do this stuff and making sure stuff works. So like I said, I did the first stream the other day, which was the first one in a while, and like half the shit that I had gotten all set up and thought I had it working, it didn't work last time. So hopefully it works this time. Nicole said, how's the new MTH record going? It's going very well. I would say it's still early stages. We're like, I've said this before, but kind of like the way we're making music these days is all, very much from our own home studios. So like, each of us live in different states, and each guy has their own home studio where we write and record at. So it's kind of like, it'll go in phases, right? Like sometimes one of us will be like, really like sparked up and really writing a lot. And then sometimes, one of us will kind of be busy with work or, not writing that much. And then the other guys will kind of contribute. And then sometimes we're kind of like, when we all get in the zone, and we're all kind of like, really, really working on stuff, every single week. There's always something new in the group chat. I would say right now where it's at is we have a handful of songs from left over from the last album that we didn't use, like demo ideas and riff ideas and partially complete songs. There's a handful of those that we still want to use. We still think should be turned into finished songs. We just didn't choose them for the last record. So we have a handful of those, and then Derek and Matt have written a good amount of like introductory or like early stage ideas for like future riffs and songs and stuff. So I'd say like as far as like just ideas go, probably between like 20 and 30 new songs that like all have something appealing to them that we're going to work on. So that's where we're at with it right now. It's kind of honestly it's waiting on me to get vocals down to a lot of this stuff. Usually the way it goes is like I said, like everybody will kind of get like hot and cold or whatever it is, but once I get vocals down on something, it really starts to feel real, and you start to see like the potential it could have as a finished song. But I will say that like I've written to most of it. I've written a lot of vocals for these demos, and part of that is kind of comes back to the point of me being like, man, I just got to make more time for music, because I'm really blessed to work with these other musicians and people who are really, really good, and I get to write vocals on this stuff, and too much time is just goes by with the ideas, like they're real in my head, but like until you sing them out, it doesn't mean much. So that's where the record's at right now. We have a pretty good handful of what we think are really strong demos and going to be really good ideas. But I just got to get to it, man. So that's part of why we're here. It's part of the spirit of it all. So good question, man. Thank you for asking. But speaking of, we're also working on this new Headcave record, Nick and I, and we have pretty close to a finished record. I'd say we're closing in on like 10 or 11 songs that are pretty much done. They just need like I want to refresh the mix. I think that's really like the biggest thing that has kind of like not held us back in the past, but when I listen to like the previous releases, I'm like, oh, for a full length, we've kind of taken a break for a minute for us to come back. It'd be really sick to come back with like a really impressive sounding record, as well as obviously I think the songs are good. So Travis Golden, can't wait for new Headcave stuff. Thank you so much, man. Well, you're in the perfect spot, because we've got some of it to work on right now. I was recording some vocals for this new one the other day. I would say the song is it's probably around like 75% done. I put vocals on pretty much the whole track. Kind of if you guys have never seen me work on music before, what I'll typically do is like, I like to write a lot of my stuff kind of like not freestyle, but like kind of like in the moment. I used to sit down with like a pen and a pad and write everything out beforehand, and I started really enjoying the process of like just getting in the booth with a loose idea, sometimes nothing at all, and just kind of like letting it flow and trying to like come up with the everything on the spot. And it just kind of became my default way of working. So now when I'm writing a track, I'll do pretty much all of it just in my head while I'm listening to the song. I'll just naturally sort of like think of ideas and stuff, and then when it comes time to record is when I'll really like find out if they work, if my ideas actually, if they sound the way they do in my head. And then that's when I'll also write the lyrics. So I'd say right now this new track is around like 75% done. I've done like a first pass through on everything. And then the session I was doing yesterday was kind of like going back and cleaning up a couple of the lyrics, and just kind of like, trying to get better performances a little bit. So yeah, we'll run through it, and you guys will kind of like get to see the process and see how it's going down. Raymond D says, I knew once you cut your hair, the Headcave banger was about to come out. Oh, that's funny, man. Dude, it's so funny. Like, No, it doesn't have anything related to being in bands. I feel like anytime I'm doing anything with music, I was like, that's when I always miss having long hair, because you fucking, it just looks cool when you're rocking out. But I just needed to change, man. I was just like, constantly just wearing it back in a ponytail every day and not really styling it, not taking good care of it. So I was like, man, I gotta switch it up. I need to change. So it wasn't related to music, but it was a good precursor, a good spark to be like, all right, man, it's time to get out of this routine, time to get some shit done. So it's funny you say that, though, because I feel like since then I have been doing a pretty good job of like hitting all the goals and stuff I've been setting. So Leviche says, I remember the stream where you were working on the song that eventually became Flooded Eyes. There's a pretty clear callback to Gasoline Kiss in there, and I've been wondering what the idea behind it was. Was it meant purely as a little homage to the older song, or did you guys just feel like that riff was too good not to revisit and reuse in a new way? That's a great question. I don't think it was intentional. And funny enough, the guitar riff, I think, happened later in the song. That song, it started with the hook riff was the very first thing that Derek wrote. Actually, Matt wrote that riff, and then Derek rewrote some stuff around it. But the dun 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 dun, and with the harmonics and stuff, that was like the basis of the song. And then we messed around with that chorus for so long, trying to find a chorus that made sense. And we tried a bunch of different versions. It was kind of all in that like slower down tempo halftime sort of range. And then there was kind of like this thrashy riff that I think is the post chorus now, but originally that was the chorus, and it always felt like it needed a lift. And then Derek wrote that chord progression that we didn't think of it at the time. Obviously the drum beat is very similar to that, that same tempo from Gasoline Kiss. But then like he wrote those chords for the guitar, and I can't remember if I wrote a vocal first or if he wrote the guitar first or whatever it was. But once we put them together, we were like, oh yeah, this feels good. And then it was only like after that we were like, wait, isn't this the same as Gasoline Kiss, one of our older songs? And by that point we were like, well, we like it too much to get rid of it, so fuck it, we'll just keep it. So I wish I could tell you that it was some cooler, like premeditated sort of thing, but I think that was a case of just happens by accident. But it's funny that people notice it. I think the drum beat is what is the most similar. I mean, obviously like that drum beat's been used a million times, but in like metalcore, metal adjacent stuff, it's not as common of a drum beat, I feel like. So that's probably why people notice it. But dude, I'm glad you think the chorus is good. I think that song became one of the better songs on the record, which I'm really stoked about, because sometimes a song that you have to work really hard on, sometimes it feels like it wasn't worth it. Sometimes you're like, you're hacking away at things, or you're restructuring things, you're rewriting things, and you constantly feel like you're chasing your tail, and you're like, man, is this any better than our first idea? And then sometimes you do a bunch of work to a song, and then it actually comes out really good and turns out that it was worth it. So fortunately, I think that one is a case where the song, we did put a lot of work into it, but the song got better for it. Whereas sometimes there are like the gems that just come out where it's just like easy to write, like the first version. It's just like, yep, that's it, feels good. But I'm glad you think so, man. That's one of my favorites too. So all right, cool. So let me switch over to Pro Tools, and hopefully all of this will work like I want it to, like I set it up. So if I go here, hopefully y'all can see this Pro Tools session. Let me know if you can. You should be able to. We've got, this is the session I'm working in right now for this Headcave song. I do all my vocals in Pro Tools. I've been using Pro Tools for a long time. If anyone's been on the stream before, you'll be familiar with how I lay stuff out. But if you haven't seen it, I'll just show you. So up at like the very top, this is like the rough instrumental demo that is the very first thing that Nick sent me. So usually, like, you know, for anyone who doesn't know, Headcave is a 2-piece between myself and Nick DePiro, and usually he will, you know, he'll finish a track instrumentally from top to bottom, and then send it to me, and I'll kind of put my vocal ideas on top of that. And then once I do my first pass of vocals, then he and I will go back and forth and tweak stuff. And, you know, sometimes a vocal will make him want to rewrite a riff, or, you know, we want to change the song structure, you know, stuff like that. So that's the first demo up top, very first thing. He started sending me stems because I've been playing around with some mixes and stuff. This one's still in a rough state, but I think it's good enough to listen to today. So we've got the drum MIDI up top. We've got all the drum tracks right here broken out. We've got bass track is the purple. We've got his guitar tracks right here, the green. And then all of my vocals and stuff sit down here in these tracks. I have like a track for screams, a track for singing, some that have singing and screaming in it. You know, I don't really treat singing and screaming differently as far as like the mixing goes. I kind of, you know, treat them all the same, especially because these days I feel like I'm trying to blur the line between the two of them, you know, in general. So I don't really worry about singing or screaming, but, you know, you'll have different tracks for different, you know, effects, or, you know, whether it's a backup or a lead part, this or that. And then at the bottom here, I'll have the tracks that I actually use for recording, and that's where all of these playlists live in Pro Tools. So each one of these is all a different take, and then you know, you can listen through all these different takes, and then you can pick and choose the best sections of each one, and then bring that up into your final vocal. And then at the bottom here we have all our effects. So I've got, you know, some distortions, some delays, some reverbs. So if you hear anything that you want to ask a question about, please just tell me, and I'll kind of go over it. But all right, cool. Let me pause. Let's pause Spotify, and let me play you. Actually, all right, hold on. One other thing I have to test is if I open a plugin, can y'all see the plugin window? You should be able to see this. I really hope that you can, because this was so hard to get it to be this way. If I go back here, it looks like you can. I think that you can see this. Yeah, you can. All right, sweet. You have no idea how complicated Pro Tools makes it to show this stuff. Because Pro Tools, it renders it as a separate window. It doesn't see it as a Pro Tools window. It's so annoying. All right, sweet. That's great. This way, when I'm like, if I want to make adjustments to an EQ or a plugin or a compressor or whatever, you'll see what I'm doing, and it's not weird. Mr. Joyner asked if Tanner's ever coming back. I would love to have Tanner drum with us. He was like super busy with In Flames, and, you know, we were just kind of like a for fun project. So I have no idea what his schedule and stuff is like now. I think he had an injury that I saw on Instagram, but I think he's back to drumming now and sounding good. So, dude, I would love to have him fucking play, because he's so good. But, you know, it's hard to ask somebody to be like, you know, like to work hard on something, or be like, hey man, can you work on this track or whatever, when, you know, he's got this full-time career with this way bigger band and, you know, all this other stuff. So would love to have him drum with us some more, you know, if he ever wanted to. That would be awesome, because I think like that was something that I actually really noticed of the difference of, like, obviously, you know, this is a modern metalcore, you know, like prog metal sort of project. So, you know, a lot of the drums are programmed, but like I don't know if he played on an E-Kit or if he was just way better at programming than we were. And then obviously he's a real fucking drummer. So, you know, he has his taste, his style, and he's incredibly good. So there's just such a level of like feel and adrenaline that, you know, you kind of get used to hearing like a kind of like a passable, you know, sort of drum track. And then you hear like a great one and you're like, whoa, this is fucking so much better. So that's actually something that we are hoping to, you know, do a better job of, even if we don't work with Tanner or with anybody else, like just, you know, between Nick and I, like actually giving the drums like the props that they deserve. So, all right, cool. Oh, hi, Emma. I see you commenting from YouTube. How are you? Glad you can see the plugin. This is good. All right. So you can see, let's find out if you can hear. I'm just going to run this from the top. Let me know how the levels are. Hopefully the sound is cool. All right. So I'm just going to play it with the existing vocals. We're going to replace some of these vocals, but I'll just play it so you get a sense of where we're at here. All right, let's rock.
You want to keep tricking or you want to start pimping?
All right, sorry, it was too quiet. So this is just instrumental right now, and then I'll play you with vocals. Chorus right here. Verse 2. My favorite riffs in the song. All right, I'm gonna pause it there because I'll show you. We'll get into some of these vocals here. Yeah, it does have kind of a corn style, Nick, in that first verse right there. Raymond, you started day trading, dude. Tell me your secrets, because I fucking need to improve my portfolio as well, dude. I'd be honored to fund you guys for live performance when time comes, dude. We absolutely want to play a head cave show, so never say never, man. Probably the best head cave track you've heard yet. Well, that is. Wait till you hear the rest. But I appreciate you saying that. I'm fucking stoked, man. I think that Nick has done such a good job stepping up, you know, these recent ones. Travis, thank you. Glad you think it's sick. Yeah, let's go back to this first verse, man, because this riff right here is just fucking hard. Let's do this first verse right here. Yeah, dude, super bouncy, super catchy, but still heavy. Yeah, I'm hyped. So, all right, let me show you the vocals I put down. This is the first pass. So we're gonna replace these with some better ones, but still keeping, I think mostly these same ideas. So I'm gonna run it back. Let's just hear what we got in here. I haven't listened to this since the other day, so we're just gonna go through it together. First verse right here.
I'm done dealing with the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I shouldn't be. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Tell me, can you hear my voice in the static? A flat line in my brain. I don't really mean to sound dramatic. Come say that shit to my face.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be.
Stick in this first verse for a minute. So I like all the pieces, but there's some of this performance that I think we can do better. Sweet. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'm glad we're into it. I think it's gonna be really cool. I think this is one where the song definitely has I think it has good potential for being like a single from the record. I think the chorus is super catchy and hype. Like I think Nick, he made such a good job of like the instrumental being catchy but still like high energy and fun. I think the lower range melody is gonna work, but I gotta sell it just right. Like I'm gonna try to be a little clever with like the way I want to mix it and maybe some harmonies and stuff on it. But for now, let's just go on these screams in this first verse, because I think like I really like the screams and the pattern that I wrote and everything, but it's really busy. Like it's very busy. It's fast. So I it's got to be like the delivery's got to be on. Otherwise, it's just gonna like muddy the riff and kind of get a little gibberishy. So all right, let's find some screams and let's hear some stuff. So what I'll do is I'll mute the existing one. All right, so these are the takes that I did yesterday, and we got 5 right here. So something I've started doing too is like, once I get the lyrics down, like I don't have to do that many takes. Before I found myself, I was really like, I was doing a lot of takes of the same part because I felt like I just have that addictive feeling of like, oh, one more. And then I would go to edit and I'd have fucking 20 takes of vocals to go through. And usually like the last 3 were always the best ones. So I'm trying to do a better job of like not fucking doing so many takes that I got to go through. What's up, Edge of Sid? How are you, man? Haven't seen you in forever. I know I've been the one who's been absent, haven't been streaming. Mr. Joyner, what are your go-to plugins for your vocal chain? Okay, so funny you should ask. It's kind of old now, but I do have a video on YouTube that has like a full breakdown of the vocal chain that I've been using. And I should be able to, let's see if I can do this. Y'all are witnessing pro streamer behavior right here. Look at that. Vocal chain vid. Bam. So that is, I think, pretty close to the vocal chain that I'm still using currently. I'll definitely do an update because I've changed a couple things since then, changed the microphone, but like a quick rundown of it is like, you just want like a basic EQ, a basic compressor, for heavy music, for harsh vocals. I use usually like 2 compressors, maybe a compressor and a limiter. Usually like the more compressors the better for like screams and heavy stuff, in my opinion. But if you scope that link, it'll kind of like walk you through the whole thing. Will the album include only new material, or will previously released singles be part of it? If you're talking for Headcave, it will probably be only new stuff. I think we do have a plan to remix the older stuff too. Like I think especially that first EP, a remix of those songs would be really fucking cool. So that's a good question, actually. Yeah, for Headcave, yeah. For the new stuff, it's definitely going to be like, if there is old stuff on it, that'll be like bonus in addition to a full album's worth of material. Like we're not gonna like shortchange the amount of new songs. Like we wouldn't do only like 6 new songs and then 4 old. That would suck. We're gonna do at least I think we're gonna do like a full album's worth of new material, and then just chuck some, if we add the older stuff into it, they'll kind of be extra, or we'll do like re-release that first EP just with a fresh mix. I think would be a cool thing to do. Yes, Sid, it's been a long time, probably about a year. You're exactly I think exactly right. So all right, y'all, let's listen to some screams here. I'm gonna play through some of these takes. We'll start at the bottom and kind of work our way up.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. So tell me, can you hear my voice?
right, cool. So you should be able to see. It's so funny you mentioned the decapitator because that's my favorite distortion plugin. I think for a lot of people, it's unbeatable. But it was turned up too loud, so I'm turning it down. All right, let's listen again. Bottom take. Here we go.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Tell me, can you hear my voice in this static?
Cool, solid. I'm just gonna kind of play these back to back because I got to listen to them quickly and hear what's best. So, all right, we'll do the red.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Tell me, can you hear my voice in this static?
Let's do maroon.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Tell me, can you hear my voice in the...
Nice. I think that one was better than the red. Let's do purple.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Tell me, can you hear my voice in...
So I'm going like last to first. So like this purple one is the first take I did of the session. So in theory, they should slightly get a little worse as you go up because usually, you know, you kind of find, you know, after you sing it a couple times, you get better at it. So let's do the top one here.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Tell me, can you hear my voice?
Yeah, so you can see I kind of like the pitch was a little bit higher when I started, and then I wanted to lower the screams just a tiny bit. So I think these two are the ones that stood out the most. Let's listen to these. Let's go back to back.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Tell me, can you hear my voice?
Okay.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Tell me, can you hear my voice in the...
Gold for the gold, man. Taking it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab these two, bringing these up to where my my main vocals are, and then I'm gonna duplicate these playlists. Then we can, that way I'm not getting rid of them. Let's just bring these up for now. Yes, this is one of our songs. This is my band Headcave that we're working on. What's up, by the way? I don't think I've seen you before. I'm gonna try to pronounce your name. Skoro Bahatko. Skoro Bahatko. Yeah, this is so I sing for two bands. One of the bands is called Headcave. It's like modern progressive metal, you know, heavy stuff like this. Oh, Andrea, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Twitch stream. We are back. We're working on some Headcave tunes. Let's see. Just making sure I'm not missing some of the chat here. It's Ukrainian. Wow. That's so crazy. What time is it there right now? Lizzie, what's up, bro? What is up, bro? All right, let's go. Let's play those screams one more time. So I have, like I said, I have my tracking stems at the bottom here, and then so like once I pick a favorite, I'll bring them up, and then I'll bring those into the lead vocal tracks up here, and they have slightly different settings, but you know, pretty much the same. So let's see what these sound like. This is the last take and the fifth take and the third take. Let's try this.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Tell me, can you hear my voice in this stat?
Sick. So what's cool about playlists is if you can see this, I can very quickly A/B and like switch between these two playlists right here, right? So we got like the blue and the gold, and I can, you know, really quickly like contrast and compare. So let's play the old one real quick and just see if there's anything better I like about the old one that I want to copy into the new one. Let's see.
I'm done dealing with the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I shouldn't be. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Sorry, can you hear my voice in the static?
Let's go to the other one.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I shouldn't be. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Sorry, can you hear my voice in this?
Okay. Overall, I think the new one's better, and obviously I changed the lyrics. So like the first one, the lyrics were like, "I'm done dealing with the pressure." This one is, "I'm so sick of all the pressure." I think that's better. But there is a little bit of flair to this build up right here. I'm gonna try to copy some of this. So then what I like to do is I'll make a duplicate of this. So now we're on track number 3, and then I'll go. Maybe I'll take these parts right here, paste them in. So now you can see we've got the gold track is our new take, blue is the old. You like the second one better? I do too. See, this is great. This is why, you know, like I said, I'll usually do like my first pass. So like the blue track is from like the very first time like I ever sang it. You know what I mean? So like literally making up the lyrics, making up the vocals on the spot, and then you know, usually like you're working on a track and then you're able to take a break from it for a minute. You know, you'll be fucking, I don't know, like brushing your teeth or something, and you go like, this is a way better line. I should have said this instead. So then you just come back and redo it. So let's try this. It's a mashup of the two.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Can you hear my voice in the static?
Swag feels good. We'll play it one more time.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Can you hear my think you got it backwards. No cloud.
No, that was better. What DAW am I using? This is Pro Tools, the tried and true. It's kind of ugly to look at, unfortunately. I was going through Twitch streams and stuff, like watching other people's setups to like see what they did. And every time I see somebody using Logic or something, I'm like, oh, that looks nice. And then you look at Pro Tools and you're like, it looks old, right? It looks like it's from the 90s or something. I think it's the light gray, but it's just what I'm used to. It's what I learned on. And I do think it's, you know, like for tracking and for playlisting, it's pretty hard to beat. But like the MIDI fucking sucks in Pro Tools. The automation's okay. It is what it is. Reaper, hold my beer. I don't disagree. I was in Reaper for a long time. I used Reaper exclusively for probably like 6 or 7 years. So yeah, Reaper's pretty solid too. I have Reaper installed on this computer, by the way. I use it too. Sicky, thank you so much for the follow. Good to see you. Some say Reaper is ugly, but doesn't matter as long as it gets the job done. That's true. And Reaper is free. And Reaper has like, they do such an incredible job with their updates and their supports. And like Reaper is so customizable. Like I'm pretty sure you can make Reaper look like anything you want. It's very like, you know, like open source. You know, they really give you a lot of control. I do really, really like Reaper. That's what I learned on. But then I went to an audio engineering program in Nashville for like 6 months. And whenever you're working in like more professional studios, I think Pro Tools is still the standard. A lot of places will still use Logic, and I think it's good to know both. But like most of the, you know, like the bigger professional studios are all still equipped with Pro Tools by default. But man, these days, I feel like that's all fucking out the window because, you know, everyone is self-producing and, you know, I can't, like, the amount of times that people will go into, you know, one of these amazing studios with like literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of hardware and outboard gear and just straight up plug in their laptop on the console and just use other plugins is like, it's just the norm these days. So yeah, I think really like whatever one you like the color scheme of, that's the one I say you should use. That's kind of like my my 2 cents about it, I guess. Z-Force, what's up, man? Yes, we are back. We're back to streaming, dude. It's good to see you. I know it's been a long time. So we're working on some new headcave, dude. Let's play this. Let's go back a little bit. Let's play this verse one more time. I'm gonna listen to it a little closer.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Tell me, can you hear my voice in the static?
I'm gonna try a little bit of a different entrance here. Let's try this from.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Tell me, can you?
Yeah, so basically like what I'll do is like as I'm listening through just any part of the vocal that I'm like, not that it bothers me, but I'm just like, is it, you know, is it exactly as I hear it in my head? And then sometimes, you know, sometimes you just switch the, you know, the backup take and the lead take, and sometimes the backup's better. Like I think this build up right here, like this maroon colored one, this entrance is better than the gold one. But then I think the rest of the gold is better. So let's try that.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it back.
See, even there, my brain's like, it's not quite right. Hold on. Let's try only like the first couple words.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Tell me, can you hear my voice in the static? A flat line in my brain. I don't really mean to.
Yes, comping is the term. That's exactly it, man. We're freaking comping up a storm right now, dude. I will. That's something I actually like. I really am grateful that I like, you know, got interested in, you know, audio engineering and production and stuff like that. Is the ability to comp your own vocal is like, it feels like it's like a safety blanket, dude. It's like it's an art form in and of itself for sure. Of like, and sometimes you can go too far. Like I've definitely fucking, you know, I'll look down at a track and it's just rainbow colors and I'm like, Jesus, dude, like either I suck or like this is too far. So I'm trying to do a better job of like nothing makes me more proud when it's just one color the whole take. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm a real singer now. But I can't help myself, man. I'll get in here and just start you know, picking and choosing the best parts. It is what it is. Yeah, as long as it sounds good. Yes, this is true. Nobody, you know, the only thing that matters is the results. Let's see. I'm gonna try to. Is it Eline or is it Ellen? It looks like Eilin. Ellen Weiss. Weiss. I'm so sorry. I'm not getting your name right, but thank you. You're a legend yourself. I don't know you, but I'm sure that you're super cool. All right, y'all. Let's go second verse here, man. Let's go out of the chorus.
I'm kidding with the fixture. I'm cutting the picture. I'm the words your voice cannot speak. I'm the eyes your truth cannot see. Many would try but fail. Still standing as a factor. I'm cutting the picture.
All right. So we got another fucking giant mouthful. Let me listen to this again. All right, so I remember re-recording this. Main thing is there's a couple lyrics I want to flip, and just overall like have a little bit more attitude, more control. Good stuff. I'd like to know more about the guitar sound. So that is all courtesy of Nick DePiro. So he does all the instruments and I'm just doing the vocals, but you're in luck because I do have stems. So like usually I'll just track to like an MP3, you know what I mean? Like a bounced instrumental that Nick will send me. But lately I've been working on like trying to improve the mix and stuff like that. So I do have stems for this session. So you know what? I got you. Let's listen to some of the guitars right here, dude. Let's go. Actually, let's do it this way. So this is right out of the chorus. So yeah, you'll have to ask him as far as like, you know, what he's using for his amps, for his guitar. I know he plays in a Bossy 8-string for all the headcave stuff. I think he's in Quad Cortex now, but I also know he likes all the Neural DSP stuff. So I don't know what he's using in the studio these days. But as far as mixing it, I can show you what I have on it right now. I got my SSL channel, so we're taking a good amount down in like the 800 range, maybe a little in the mids, nothing crazy, and then I'm clamping on the top and the bottom here a little bit. We've got pulling out some resonant frequencies. This is just like the basic Waves parametric EQ here, and then we have the classic Pultec, just giving us a little bit of high-end boost at 10K. And then we have a little bit of a stereo spreader. I try to be pretty conservative with this stuff, but you know, a little bit of like phase manipulation to pull the guitars wider helps kind of clear out the middle a little bit. And I feel like you can get the guitars louder without them you know, stomping on like the drums and the vocals. And then I just threw a little bit of API boost at 5K on here because they were feeling a little dull compared to the rest of the instruments. So, but again, it's like I said, this is still, you know, I'm mixing this as I go kind of a thing. A lot of that stuff could change, and none of that stuff necessarily applies to every guitar track. You know, it's all about like, what does the signal have and what does the signal need? You know what I mean? Like if you're cooking some meal and there's too much salt in it, you don't just want to go adding salt because, you know, some other guy did. Like it has to be what the track needs. But you know, everybody kind of knows that. You know, trust your ears and you know, find your way as you go, I guess. Leviche said you got to check out Chris's Garza podcast with Nick DePiro. It's really good. I would definitely recommend it. Yeah, that's a great actually point because I think he talks about his guitar rig a fair bit in there. And Nick has an awesome Instagram page, and like I think he's talked about his gear and stuff before on there as well. All right, verse 2. Let's get back to this sweet riff right here. Yeah. So on this one, like this section right here, I specifically tried to like, sometimes I'll write a vocal pattern where you're like, you're kind of like lockstep with the riff. You know what I mean? You're trying to kind of almost copy the accents from it. That's something that like System of a Down always did a lot, and they're like one of my favorite bands. So I felt like this was like a instance where like, dude, that guitar pattern is just like so catchy. It wouldn't make sense for me to like pull your ear away from that. I was like, oh, let's try to like, you know, how can I like stay in that? You know what I mean? So this pattern's a little busy, but I think as long as the delivery's strong, you know, it'll accent really well with that riff and be pretty hype. All right, let's listen to some of these takes. We'll start with the red one at the bottom.
I'm the words your voice cannot speak. I'm the truth your eyes cannot see. Many would try but fail. Still standing as a victor. Are you getting the picture?
All right, let's keep going. I'm just gonna kind of like go up the chain here. So let's go to the pink one.
I'm the words your voice cannot speak. I'm the truth your eyes cannot see. Many would try but fail. Still standing as a victor. Are you getting the picture?
Like the end. Let's keep going.
I'm the words your voice cannot speak. I'm the truth your eyes cannot see. Many will try but fail. Still standing as a victor. Are you getting the picture?
Also the end. It's a little sloppy in these first parts, but let's listen one more time. Let's do blue.
I'm the words your voice cannot speak.
Yo, Scoro, thank you for being here and thank you for the follow. Yeah, we'll see you next time, my friend. I hope you have a great rest of your day, dude. Take it easy.
I'm the words your voice cannot speak. I'm the truth your eyes cannot see. Many will try but fail. Still standing as a victor. Are you getting the picture?
Would I ever consider making a vocal tutorial? I would. I would have to really think about it though, because I don't want to give bad advice, and I feel like I'm someone who should take vocal lessons rather than give them. But I don't think it hurts to, you know, just kind of like share, I guess, you know, the things that I've learned or things that have helped me. But I would have to think about it a little bit. I would be a little hesitant to just, you know, start telling people what to do.
I'm the words your voice cannot speak. I'm the truth your eyes cannot see. Many will try but fail. Still standing as a victor. Are you getting the picture?
All right, that's the best one for sure. Let's do pink. Just be loud. Exactly. It's the only rule.
I'm the words your voice cannot speak. I'm the truth your eyes cannot see. Many will try but fail. Still standing as a victor. Are you getting the picture?
Gus from Breaking Bad, the Puro show in range, Jimeni bringing the rage. That's exactly it. That's the formula. All right. So, I actually think I like most of the old vocals better than these, but there's a crucial lyric change that I'm going to try to steal. So, let's bring these up. Let's see what we can get done. All right, here's the old ones, actually. Let's go new playlist. Raymond, for mine specifically, because there's a unique projection to the way you scream, if that makes sense. I appreciate that. I think I kind of have noticed that I feel like my scream has changed over the years. Not really that like was on purpose, but just something that I've kind of noticed. And I think it's gotten a little bit voicier, if that makes sense. I think like in the beginning, it was very kind of like, you know, like, I don't want to say like metalcore, but like very like more screamo. You know what I mean? Like the way I would pronounce things, and you know, you kind of like roll your R's into stuff, like, you know what I mean? Whereas like I think what I'm going for these days is very much like I want the lyrics to be like very, very clear and intelligible, and you know, I'm basically just trying to sound more like the people that I idolize. You know what I mean? So like more like, I don't know. I want that blend of like that intensity and emotionality, but then also like being really controlled. I feel like screaming vocals these days are like more fucking impressive than they've ever been, right? Like people have kind of figured out these techniques that are like just fucking crazy impressive, and it's like, you know, there are people doing stuff where I'm like, I don't know how you fucking are making that sound, you know? And so there's like, I wanna chase that. Like, I'm inspired by that, of like just having complete control, you know what I mean? But then also having like the emotional aspect to it, you know, the desperation, the intensity, you know, like I want it to still feel like you're screaming like for a purpose, you know, like it emotionally makes sense in the song, not just like, oh, this is just a sound that I'm making because I can, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense, but okay, so we're gonna I have to actually take a break for just a couple seconds. Twitch ads are gonna run in like 20 seconds, and I'm actually gonna use the bathroom, but I've seen there's a couple questions over here, so we'll get back to these in a sec, and then yeah, we'll do the rest of these vocals, man. This is cool. I'm glad that it's actually working, because I was like making sure my Pro Tools works. So all right, we're gonna play ads. I'll be back in like 3 minutes.
He wants to start pimping.
I think I timed that perfectly. Yeah, so that was something that I didn't realize before, is that Twitch, like, you have to play a certain amount of ads per hour, so like they'll automatically play on their own. I fucking didn't know that the other day, and I'm doing like the first stream in a while, and I'm like trying to talk to people and saying all this stuff, and then people are like, I can't hear anything you're saying because the ads are playing. But all right, let me go back because I think I missed a couple questions. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, as far as like me giving any sort of like tutorials or anything about screams, I'm not saying that I never would. I would want to think about it a little bit of like, I would want to make sure that I just wouldn't want to say anything that's like that's just not true, or this bad advice. But I guess it doesn't hurt to just kind of like, share your personal experience. And I think that like sometimes I also think people are smart enough to take and pick and choose what works for them. So yeah, I think I would at some point. I just think like, also, dude, there's also part of me that thinks like, man, I'm not like, nobody wants to fucking, I'm not good enough for that. Like nobody wants to hear what I got to say. But I know that's not true, but you think that way sometimes. So Hand of Blood said, what would you recommend for vocal organization? My takes are all over the place in terms of how I order them and what effects are on top. That is a great question. So check it out. Let's do, ooh, look at this view. It's almost like I've done this before. My goodness. So man, that's a good question. I think like there's no right or wrong, obviously, but the advantage, in my opinion, for like the way Pro Tools does it is, or at least the way I like to do it, is I like to have like my main tracks that are going to be like the ones that are actually going to end up in the song, right? And so that's where all these, VOC main, all these different sort of ones are up here, right? And then I like to have separate tracks that are devoted literally just for the recording process, because these are going to accumulate a shitload of playlists, right? I mean, like you'll see I'm on take 72 down here, right? And that's just random. Like, I mean, these things have gotten into the hundreds before, not because I'm singing the same part 100 times, but like, maybe you do 15 on the intro and you do 20 on the chorus, and then whatever it is, and like that sounds like a lot of takes, but like because of how I'm writing, like I'm making stuff up as I go, so I'm not doing the same thing 20 times. Like maybe I'm changing a word or changing a pattern or whatever. So I like to have tracks that are devoted strictly to the recording, like literally for you to record into, and then from those is where you'll pull those up into where your main vocals go, and then on those tracks you can make a handful of playlists each time you make a change, and those will be like your favorites that you're going to choose between. So like favorite 1 versus favorite 2 versus favorite 3, and then your playlists get a lot more reasonable there, because unless you are rewriting the song a bunch of times, hopefully you'll only have a handful of playlists that you can kind of mentally keep track of, if that makes sense. So anyways, I hope that answers your question, brother. Nick and Lizzie are both in here, and they're fucking making me laugh. They're two of my best friends, so I know that that's you guys. Hello. Z4 says, your voice has come out more since the early days of MTH. Used to sound kind of like Caleb from Attack Attack. 1000%. That's what I'm saying. My voice, not really like on purpose or like anything that like I intended to think about, but definitely something that like I have noticed has happened, in the recent years of screaming. And I will say, I don't mind it. I'm pretty happy with how I'm sounding these days. But like something, dude, like I was so envious and like jealous of people who could do like the sing scream style, where you could be screaming, with a note, with a melody, with a pitch. And like, I always wanted to do that so bad. And now these days I feel like I can. And, I think that's just like a side effect of, you know, my screams coming out, or my voice coming out more, and kind of like I said earlier, like kind of blurring the lines between you know, singing and screaming, and really just kind of like wanting it to, I just want it to feel like vocals, really, rather than like, oh, this is a scream and this is singing, or anyways, if that makes sense. So enough yapping for the moment. Let's listen to this second verse again. Let's go back here. All right, here we go. Oh, whoops. I have the vocals muted. My bad. Let's go again. All right, so overall, I'm actually happy with that take, but there is a lyric that I want to change, and I want to hold that last scream out just a little bit better. So I'm gonna make a new playlist here. Josh from Silosis has a great scream that has notes in it. Dude, I fucking totally agree. Their new record is really fucking good. Really, really good. I hadn't really listened to that band very much before. And then I like found that dude from you know, I found him from his interview with Craig on the Downbeat, and then you know, he was on Garza, I think, and you know, they had that new record come out, and so I was giving it a spin, and dude, it's so good. The record's fucking nasty. Like, all the instrumentation top to bottom is great. The mix is great. His voice sounds great. Yeah, super fresh. I was loving it. And you're exactly right. He does that sing scream sort of note in it. Like, dude, it's one of their singles, something about the guillotine. What is it might be called the, if you know from that record, what's the single that's like something about, it's something about a guillotine. There's like a guillotine in the music video. And there's like this, like the hook of the song is like, dude, it's so Pantera sounding to me. It's so fucking sick. That's actually like a really fun song to sing. I've put that on before and been like, yo, I want to sing this shit. This is fucking gets me super hyped. All right, let's see if I can just swap. There's just this middle section right here. I want to swap the lyrics. Let's try this. All right, we're gonna go a little surgical here, because I really just want to switch the words truth and eyes. Let me see here. See, I accidentally said these the wrong way, right? I'm the eyes your truth cannot see. No, I'm the truth your eyes cannot see. That's what we want. That's what we want, baby. Spared from the guillotine. That's it. That song is so fucking hard, dude. The chorus riff is nasty. If any of y'all have not listened to that record, that is a great song to start with. It's so fucking sick. And like, dude, I kind of like went down a rabbit hole of like checking out that dude's channel, his you know, his social media and stuff, and like was just so inspired of like, you know, seeing somebody like that, where I think he, you know, he writes a lot of the riffs. I think he you know, he produces the band, he records the music, he mixes the band, you know, he's the singer and the guitar player and everything. And yeah, just really inspiring of like, you know, what, you know, something that I would like to do with my own music. Like seeing people like that is like, I see it and it's like inspiring, you know what I mean? This blueprint of like, oh, this is cool. Like this dude, you know, he has success with this band, and then he has like success, you know, in his own name as a, you know, as a music producer and as a mixer and everything. And yeah, super fucking cool, man. Big fan all around from that band. And then I want to extend this last line here. Let's do these. Except I think I'm going to switch the red. Let's try this. Let me go back. See if there's another one we'll like better. Not that one. The only thing that's funny is sometimes you do get lost of like, man, how many takes did I do with this thing? There we go. Let's finesse this a little bit, one sec. Sweet. Maybe this one's better. Let's see. Yeah, I like it. All right, let's hear this whole section. Just gonna switch these. Let's see. Let's go. Hyped. All right. Leviche asks, do I still have the stems for Strangers Only and Unreal? I have stems for Strangers Only. I do not have stems for Unreal, except for maybe one song. But our producer, Fred Archambault, who did that record, who lives like an hour north of me on the north side of LA, I believe does have the stems. So why do you ask? I'm curious. Raymondy, thank you. That is the goal, man. That is the goal. Trying to make these songs really good when we come back. So there's this little build right here that I know is garbage, so we're gonna swap this too. So you can see there's that, are you getting the picture? That's like a motif that I'm kind of like going to reuse throughout the song. But here's a perfect example, right? There's this little build-up section right here where I'm literally saying gibberish, like I'm just making it up as I go. But it will inspire something cool, right? I'm like just trying to get the idea down. So then I took that and I think I like came up with actual lyrics for it. Let's try some of these. We'll start with the blue. Right? So it was gibberish, but then you find some good lyrics to it or whatever, and then like in the gibberish I think there was one word where I said fear.
Look in the past so fierce, we're now getting with the fixture. Are you getting the picture?
Nope, I didn't even say fear, but something about like when I heard it, the word fear came to mind. So then you get the full lyrics. These right here. Wait, let me mute this. So let's go through these. Leviche said, I'm asking because it'd be really cool to see you break them down on stream and show how they were made. Gibberish or Don Vietnamese? Who can say, right? one man's gibberish is another man's Don Vito. It's a great perspective. Levice, if you want, actually, there is a pretty sweet behind the scenes, if I do say so myself, of Strangers Only that I put on the band's YouTube channel a while ago. Let me link this for you. Look at this. Pro streamer right here. Making of. If you have not seen that, it's like it's us making the. Oh, dude, I saw it. Okay, cool. Well, I do have the stems, but that's the thing. So to do like a breakdown, like a mix breakdown, would be really hard because I don't think I have the mix sessions. I think I have like, I know I have the raw audio files, but that doesn't really help me because like, unless I, re-edit the entire record, which I would never do. Like I don't think I can open up like a working project of it. So Will Putney did that record and he does all his work in Logic, and it's been a while since I've used Logic first of all, but also, dude, Will does the most insane thing to me is when, and I don't know if he still does this, but like I've had multiple people tell me this is how he works. When he mixes a record, he'll mix the whole entire record in one project, like in one session from top to bottom. He'll have, say you got 12 songs on the album, he's got 12 songs in his, Logic session with, however many number of tracks. And I'm like, that sounds like fucking chaos to me of like, dude, any automation that you're trying to do or any, I don't know, like just routing stuff or whatever it is. Like I feel like by the time I get done with a project and with a mix, it's like a little bit of a fucking rat's nest. You know what I mean? It's like I got so many things, side chain here and an aux send there, whatever, all this different sort of stuff. So he mixes the whole thing top to bottom, like the whole album in one session. So if I have that session, like I have a backup that he gave me from when we did the album, and I haven't looked through it since then. So I don't know if the Logic session, like if the Logic session for the actual album mix is in there. And even if it is, I'm sure I don't have, like half the plugins he would have used or whatever it was. But that's a good question. I'll tell you what, after the stream, I will look and I'll see, because I don't know. I do not know. But when I found that out, when somebody told me that, like actually I think it was Nick, because Night Versus, his other band, has done a bunch of records with Will, and he was telling me that's how Will mixes, and I was like, dude, that seems fucking crazy. And Nick was doing that. Nick was doing that where like I'd go over there to work on a song, and he's got 4 Headcave songs in the same project because they're all just, different riff ideas and stuff that they've had. And I'm like, dude, like make a new project, man. Like why are you, this is so, no wonder your shit's hard to find. You got, 20 songs in one session, he'll be like, I'll pull up that idea from before. And he's like, I don't know which fucking project it's in or whatever. So anyways, like I said, everyone does stuff differently. No big deal. But I thought that was pretty crazy when I found that out. All right, let's get this little build up here and let's do it. Yeah, feeling cool. All right, let's keep going. I'm just gonna kind of like just go up the chain here and listen to these. Ah, dude, I think that's my favorite riff of the song. So something I'll do is like, if you see this, like say I'm going through, these clips or whatever. If I like one, like if I feel like there's something to it, I will either like like highlight and clip the section that I like, or I'll just put like one single slash to be like, oh, there's something in there, you know, you should come back and listen to this again. You know, I kind of go through like process of elimination, like go through, listen to everything once, then do like a round 2 of like my top 3 or whatever, and then usually you can kind of zero in on like the best take that way. So all right, let's try, we got one more here at the top. Let's do this gold one. So they're kind of all pretty similar. They're all working for me. Let's go through again. You could hear I changed the lyrics there. I think these two are my favorite, and then maybe the Victor from this one. No, that doesn't flow. I think I'm gonna take these 2 green ones, man. I think these are my favorites. So we'll do the same thing. We'll A-B them against the vocals that are already there. Oh, sorry. Gotta mute the old one. My bad. Yeah, these new ones are better for sure. Like, even though that's gibberish and stuff, like, even the scream is just kind of like, eh. Yep. So that's gonna go. Let's just pop these whole ones up. Oh, I fucked up the timing. Sorry. Switching. Let's try swapping this. Let's let it roll. Sweet. All right, cool. So the next section we got is this build up in the bridge. I'm pretty happy with most of the vocals over here, but there's a couple of lines that I want to change. So we'll listen to what was already there, and then I'll kind of go through like why I want to change it. All right, some of that works, some of it doesn't. I'm gonna play it one more time.
This life is so pathetic.
Okay. So there's a couple. So these screams in the build up right here. Rockstar be nasty. That makes me laugh. The lyrics. I want to change the second half of this because I say shit twice, and it doesn't flow. So I want to do. Let's see. Yeah, I have these ones down here. Like I think it needs even more attitude. I think. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I have these in the right places. So it's this last line right here we're gonna change. Yeah, this is right there. Like, instead of want to talk shit, then make it a habit, or get the fuck up out of my face. So it's like, you just need a little bit of bounce right there. You know what I mean? And I'm committing to the double curse here. So let's go. Let's try one of these. Whoops. Unmute. I'm gonna actually move some of these. No, I think this one was better. There we go. You think you're the shit, bitch? You're not even a boss. So I think I'm gonna just take the first parts. Let's go. That's stuck in my head now. Think you the shit, bitch? Let's go here. So I think I like this high at the end from before, but I want these new lyrics right here. Yeah. And then we'll have to cheat the breath a little bit here, but I think we can do that. One of these actually was good. Maybe it's you. Yeah, so let's do that one. Oh, whoops. There we go. New playlist. I'm breaking my own rules here, man. Look at that. And then after this, I want to try the line that's in the gap. I think could be a little bit stronger too. I see myself retracking that in the future. Nice. So I think I did a couple extra takes of that breakdown, the little call out. So let's fucking let's see if we like any of those better. Let's find out. Let's do bring you down. You think you this shit, bitch? If no one has ever heard that song by Ice Spice, it is incredible. Just look up. I think it's called "Fart" is the name of the song, and it's got me, dude. It somehow got me. I thought it was terrible the first time I heard it, and then now it's hooked its way into my brain. It's so fucking funny to me that it exists. That gasoline kiss. What's up, my friend? That breakdown hits harder than a pair of Newton balls. It's going to. Just wait. When we get the vocal just right, we get the mix right, it's gonna be fucking, yeah. Oh wait, let's turn off the delay. Okay, start with the purple guy here. Stu. Wait, I gotta turn this other one down, sorry. Get out of here. Think you to shit. Oh, God damn it, Lizzie. That one's cool. And I remember I wanted to get pathetic, like that lyric, just like I want it to go like da, 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 like I want it to go down a tiny bit. So like on some of these you'll hear, like I'll just show you, like I did the scream and then I'd be like not happy with how I said that word, and so I would just like do that word a couple more times, and then you can kind of like comp it in. So let's hear that. Yeah, so you can even hear I already chose this one. Let's try this. The cut doesn't work, but the pathetic sounds fucking sweet. Let's listen to these. Oh wait, are these from the first session? I don't know. No, I think these are new. Oh wait, maybe these are them. Like I said, I recorded this on multiple days, so I'm trying to remember like which takes came from where. Gasoline Kiss said, one time DePiro allowed me to use a couple of his Twitch songs for a skate game edit I made. I think one of those songs ended up being on the 30p. No fucking way. Wait. Oh, a skate game edit, like are you talking like EA Skate? Like I forget which version they're on now. But they have like a video editor you can make like a video part in there. If that's what you're talking about. I've seen our guitar player Derek was into those. And it sounds pretty cool. Send a link if it's on YouTube. All right, let me check these ones up here. Yep. So these are the ones from the second day, and you can hear I fucked up. The pathetic was pathetic, but then I was like instantly nope, I got to say that again because it's got to be right. Let's do this. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. You see what I'm hearing? Like that pathetic has to be fucking just right. I'm trying to not double stack it. I'm trying to like just have it be kind of naked on its own. So if the vocal's good, it's gonna be like a cool moment.
life is so pathetic. Pathetic.
There we go. you can tell I'm getting mad. I'm like, fucking say it right, dude. Let's see.
This life is so pathetic. It's so pathetic.
A couple of these pathetics are pretty sweet. Rockstar Be Nasty. Is Logic my preferred DAW? What's my best way to go about learning / choosing a DAW? No, so actually this is not Logic, this is Pro Tools. And I've touched on this before. I kind of think that like they all do the same thing. They're with a few exceptions, unless you're into something specialized, they all pretty much do the same thing and can all be, great for whatever type of music you're making. I think the main thing is like, just go off which one you like the look of, like whichever one you have fun using and you kind of like the look of the most and feels the most intuitive. Just go with that. Like if you're already kind of good at one, don't feel like you have to learn another one, just because so you feel like it's what everybody else uses. I mean, if you're collaborating with people, it definitely helps to know the popular ones for sure. Because obviously, you can send session files back and forth, and if you're ever recording, you're doing a writing session together, that all sort of stuff is helpful. But pretty much it's whichever one you like the look of and the vibe of. Like I'm in Pro Tools because that's what I learned on probably like 6 or 7 years ago when I went to an audio engineering program, and all the major recording studios are Pro Tools is definitely still the standard because it was kind of like the original first program, and I think it's really good for vocal tracking or like I think it's really good for audio tracking in particular, like the way the take system works. I've talked about that before, so that's why I like it, but there's so many like things I don't like about it for sure, like the MIDI setup, like the sequencer to any type of like piano roll or MIDI work that you have to do in here fucking sucks. The automation system I don't love. The mixer window I don't love. But again, like I think any DAW that you get into, they all have their hangups. It's just kind of like which one. Like I use Pro Tools and Nick uses Logic, and we just do like WAV files back and forth, no big deal. And then Marshall and Matt from My Ticket Home both use Reaper, and then Derek and I both use Pro Tools. So if you're, I don't know how experienced you are, or if you already have one that you're using, but if you're not using any of them, and you're like, oh, just how do I start learning? Reaper is 1,000% like an awesome first place to start because it's free. It's every bit as capable as anything else. It's super customizable. You can make it look however you want, and it's free. I mean, that's the first, second, third reason right there. It's really good. I used Reaper for probably like 8 or 9 years before I learned Pro Tools, and it's still great. I have it on my computer right now. I still use it. So if you don't have one, that's a good first place to start. Guess and Kiss says, I mean, hey, the reason the song Like You All Know Better Than Me came out was because the producer had you redo those vocal takes till it was perfect, and it paid off then. This is true, man. This is true. My Ticket Home, what up? First words, good to see you. Pro Tools 1 came out all the way back in 92. Crazy. That is the year I was born, if you can believe it, man. I am the same age as Pro Tools, man. 34. Crazy. Raymond said it would be dope if they implemented songs from you guys in anime / combat scenes. Dude, that'd be fucking so sick. I don't know if y'all follow me on Instagram, but like whenever I'm working on a mix, like I'll do this thing to like try to like, or even if it's not a mix, even if it's like a vocal part, I'll do this thing where like I wanna listen to the song, but I don't wanna look at the song. Like I'm sick of looking at Pro Tools or whatever it is. I wanna look at something else, and so I'll throw on like an AMV or some animated like highlight reel or music video or whatever it is, and then play our song on top of it and try to be like, oh, could I see this as a finished product or whatever it is, and just try to like you fucking crank the monitors up real loud and try to be like, turn your brain off from like, stop analyzing the song and just trying to be like, all right, from a fan's perspective, how could this sound right now? So it's funny you say that, because I'll use like AMVs and stuff all the time, and sometimes I'll like take little videos and post them. Yeah, hard to beat Free. So I agree with you there. Definitely Demon Slayer. I don't think I've watched that one. I do not think I've seen that one, but it sounds like I would like it. It's fucking, who doesn't love some badass action? All right, let's see what else. I'm gonna play this green one more time.
This life is so pathetic.
Oh, the pathetic is sweet.
This life is so pathetic.
Let's hear this one. I'm mainly just listening to these pathetics at the end.
This is so pathetic.
Let's try orange.
This life is so pathetic. This life is so pathetic.
Pretty cool.
This life is so pathetic. This life is so pathetic.
All right, that pathetic is my favorite for sure. Oh, dude.
This life is so pathetic.
Fuck yeah. All right. That's our winner for sure.
This life is so pathetic. It's so pathetic.
All right, now let's compare that to the OG. So this is the one from the first day. Just put it back where it was. So purple is from the first day.
This life is so pathetic.
Dude, see what I mean? Like,
This life is so pathetic.
it's good, but it doesn't feel as intense, I don't think. Let's hear this one.
This life is so pathetic. This life is so pathetic.
I don't know. The voice cracks are maybe a little too high. Let's try.
This life is so pathetic.
I think we're in a Frankenstein here. Let's start mashing some stuff up. Hold on. Make sure I have backup. Okay, yeah. We're just gonna mash it. Let's go.
This life is so pathetic. 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 This life is so pathetic.
This is the type of thing where I will fucking drive y'all nuts, because I will agonize over this and listen to all these different takes a million times. But the truth is, I'll probably pick one and then hear it an hour later and change my mind. So I will spare you a little bit, but let's just do a little bit more.
This life is so pathetic.
Oops. Let's bring.
This life is so pathetic. This life is so pathetic. Life is so pathetic. This life is so pathetic. So pathetic. This life is so pathetic.
All right, we'll probably sit with that for now. Let's go back because sometimes you have to rewind a little bit to get context and see what feels good. You like that the consonant hits harder in the newer? I think so too. Yeah. All right, yeah. Let's go back to our build here. Let's get some context. Just picture fucking giant wall of death. Download. Here we go. All right, we're close. I might have to re-sing some of this stuff, and I'll just finesse it some more. But for now, it's fine. Slipknot sounding top string. That's a fucking a cool comparison right there. Yeah, this fucking check this thing sounds so cool, dude. It's like just super stressful. Super stressful. Raymond said, yo, if the world started opening and hell unleashed on earth, I swear to God, this banger would set the tone. That's fucking sick, dude. I feel like it has like a potential for a single compared to some of the other ones that we've done so far. But I think the tempo that it's at is really good. And like I just think it has a good balance of like being like fun and catchy, but like still feeling badass. I stacked some like little whispery vocals over this part. I want to come back to these and see how these sound. So I've got the melody, right, that's singing right there, but then I also wanted to try like some of these little ad-lib style, or not ad-libs, but like these like little spoken word style stuff down here. Let me do. Why are you not working? Oh, I'll just do it this way. So let's play these. Oh, I'm gonna have to turn these way up. All right, one sec. Hold up. I don't know if you can hear, but there's an ambulance driving by my house right now. Let's turn these up. There we go. All right, let's see. Start blue. All right, yeah, let me turn these up. So sometimes when I'm recording like these little whispers and stuff, I'm too lazy to turn up my preamp. So usually you can get away with just like clip gaining them afterwards. So like you'll see how if I really crank it up, you'll see there's vocals in here. But when I turn it down, they're just really quiet. Because I'm basically just whispering. But you'll hear kind of what I'm going for once I get the levels. So here, I'll solo this so you can hear what I'm talking about. It's this like very kind of like Marilyn Manson type sound, like this little spoken word fucking. I've done it in a bunch of songs.
Tell me, can you hear my voice in the static? A flat line in my brain. Gotta get a taste of it like an addict. Push the needle into my veins.
You know what I'm saying? So then we'll stack that with the singing. Sorry, one of my hotkeys is not working, so I have to like scroll. Oh, there it goes. Cool. Let's do dark blue. That one was good. Let's do green. Ooh, that one was definitely the best. Let's go green. All right, I think this green is my favorite. Let's bring it up. So I think I'm just gonna have one of these. I'm still not exactly sure how I want to mix this, because right now I've got these two singing bits that are stereo panned, and then I might have just this in the center here. Maybe I could try a stereo stack of it. We'll see. Raymond said it's the vocal delivery playing a big part. Definitely make a tutorial. Okay. I'm glad you think so, man. Thank you. Yeah, there was a couple things that I'm like most proud of how this one is coming together. Is like, I think that the chorus has a potential to be like really hooky, where it's not a high pitched melody. It's just down, and there's actually like, it's only 2 sentences. Like there's actually like a lot of big gaps between the vocals, but it has like, I think it has a confidence to it that I think, you know, if I pull it off, if I can get it presented right, I think it'll still feel really strong and intense, even though it's not, you know, some like big powerhouse melody. And then there's like a couple other parts. Like I thought taking this singing bit here and then putting it over this like stress riff, I thought was really cool as a build, right? Like I'm taking this line from the first verse. Right, so we're taking that melody and we're putting it as a build. And then obviously we go to screams for the build. Let me just try this.
Tell me, can you hear my voice in the static?
I'll have to check. Maybe I'll mess with the timing a little bit because I don't want it to just be super messy and like mess with the timing of the singing. Let me try it on both sides here. Let's hear this. Yeah, I think that feels better. Just kind of, you don't really notice it. It's gonna be hard. Let's go. Sweet, dude. All right, let's go back to the first verse and kind of play through this, and let's just let it flow for a sec. And there's tons more I gotta edit still. I have a whole bunch of vocals I put in the chorus, but I kind of just want to like sit with these screams for a second and see if I agree with all the choices that we made. All right, cool, because the ads are gonna go in a couple minutes, so let's play this now. little pitchy there, but I'll fix that. Oh shit, dude. Hold on. Alright, everyone, watch your volume. I'm so sorry that this got turned down. I turned to... Fuck. Okay, well, the ads are going to start in 20 minutes, but when you come back, just turn your volume down a little bit, because I had my volume down set way too low. I really apologize that was sucky to listen to. But just watch your volume, because I turned it back up. The volume got turned down. So, all right, ads are going to play, and I'll be back in 3 minutes. All right, one sec.
You want to start pimping?
So annoying. Alright, there it goes. Alright. I think we're back. So, a couple of things. First off, I fucking apologize if the volume levels were all out of whack. I've been trying to, fix my stream setup, right? So I have these hotkeys set up. I set up a little thing where I can like duck the audio volume for when I want to talk versus when I'm like want to play you the song, and they just have been like not working half the time. Like sometimes you'll hit them and they'll go, and sometimes they won't. And I'm streaming only on one screen. I only have one monitor right here, so like I don't have a second screen where I can view all my levels. So I apologize, folks. You're getting the growing pains here. So hopefully that wasn't too bad to listen to, where it was like my voice fucking blasting and the song like barely audible. But just watch your levels now, because I fixed it. So it should be that pretty much me and the track are like, like right next to each other, right? So if I'm talking and then I go over here and I want to play the song, it should be like a reasonable volume. Hopefully that's correct. That's where it should have been this entire time. I apologize. But yeah, all right. So hopefully ads are done. Well, dude, speaking of like stuff that I don't know, like I said, I'm still kind of new to Twitch. So when ads are running, can you guys still see the stream on Twitch when ads are happening, or does ads mean like does it like just go off to the side, but you can still see? Can you still hear? Like what actually happens? Because I fucking don't know. Like, like I said, I'm kind of fucking, I'm trying to get back to doing this. So, like, what happens when the ads happen? Because I don't want to be like, trying to show something, or answer somebody's question or whatever, and they fucking can't hear a word I'm saying because there's an ad that's playing. Okay, Travis says on Twitch you can't hear the stream anymore. YouTube you can still hear and see everything. Okay, cool. So that's also good to know. Of like, all right, fucking, don't do anything stupid that you think people can't see. All right, cool. So I'll probably just do what I did of like, oh, we'll play the instrumental, or we'll let some music play or something whenever the Twitch ads play, so that way nobody misses anything. All right, Hannah Blood said, what is the drum program? The kit is sounding crisp. I will show you. So this session is like a little bit of a hybrid. This is me recording vocals and also kind of like mixing the song as we go. So I've done like a couple rough mixes of some of the recent headcave tracks, and I kind of have like my strategy is like I'll do a mix and then save that as kind of like a template, and then copy that over to the next song, adjust it from there, save that as a template, copy, and then hopefully trying to like, improve a little bit each mix you go, and then hopefully by like, the 6th or 7th song it sounds good, and then you can copy that back to everything from before. So that's kind of what we're doing here, of like, this one is me kind of tweaking some stuff, and then if there's anything that we like from this versus the songs that I've mixed prior, we'll kind of iterate and go from there. But so the kit is, I believe it's all Modern and Massive from Get Good Drums. I think Nick has a sponsorship with them, but I think I'm like Frankensteining a couple of things. So I think this is the main kit, which is split out to our different tracks and stuff, but I think I have the kick and snare muted from this, so it's just like you'll hear the rooms and stuff, but like the shells are all on, the cymbals are all on, but then I'm using I actually don't remember, so we're gonna find out together. I'm using, where's the main one? I think this one is one of the kicks. This is the snare. No. Yeah, I have like a mashup. So I think I'm stacking like 2 different snares and 2 different kicks. Because then I think this is... Oh yeah, this is a snare that's loaded. And then this is a kick sample that's loaded. So I'm kind of like stacking some stuff on top of the main kit. Like Modern and Massive is the main foundation, and then like, dude, I think I'm even using some of this one. This is like the old GGD drum plugin. This was like what Nick was using on some like earlier headcave stuff, and there's kind of like, there's just a sound to it that sounds like headcave to me. So I think it's a mashup of all of those. So let's see if I've soloed the drums. So there's things I like about it and things that I don't. Like I said, still a evolving process. I think by far one of the balances that I want to strike is to make the drums feel way more real and more alive, and have way more attitude than I think some of the stuff we've done in the past. But then also having that balance between, it's progressive, modern metal. So like it's kind of part of the sound that it's like super, super tight. You know what I mean? And so like that, like everything to the grid, like robotic tightness can be cool at this in its own way. So just trying to find a balance between those two things. And it's been really, actually really fun for me, because it was like right around the process when I was mixing the MTH album, and then coming from working on this stuff. Anytime I'm like working on mixes and stuff, I feel like my brain starts like listening to music actively in a different way, and I really start paying attention to like other mixes and other records and stuff that I like. And dude, something about like working on mixes and stuff has really just got me like stoked and like paying a lot of attention to drums, and particularly like heavier, like more metal style drums. And I swear, dude, like I fucking didn't discover Gojira until like a little over a year ago. And since then, my fucking like brain has not been the same. Of like, it's just given me this whole new appreciation for, what drums can mean for a song and for a mix, and for the band. So anyways, I'm glad you think that they're sounding good, but that's definitely, I think, the area that needs the most work, because Nick has his guitar tone dialed in. I feel like I have my vocal sound pretty, a place where I'm happy with it. And it's, obviously those are our, that's each of our fortes, what we do. So it makes sense that those two are kind of like, in my opinion, like doing their job. But yeah, want to just improve the drums and the bass and get the overall mix sound a little more impressive. So, all right, let's play everything with some of the vocals that we've edited so far, and just kind of fucking, let's just vibe out. Let's hear what we got.
You want to start pimping?
I glitched for a second there.
I'm so sick of all the pressure. Found out that I couldn't be the person I should have been. Think you got it backwards. No cloud when you're living in a false reality. Sometimes when you hear my voice in the static, a flat line in my brain. I don't really mean to sound dramatic. Come say that shit to my face.
You're a slave to your mind, but only if you want it to be. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea.
Finally face my fears, and I'm standing as a victor. We're getting a picture. I am the words your voice cannot speak. I am the truth your eyes cannot see. Many wish I could fail. I'm still standing as a victor. Are you getting a picture?
You're a slave to your mind.
That goes to that fill section, I think, with the spice up.
Want it to be. So go and say what you like. You'll barely make a drop in the sea. So can you hear my voice in the static? A flat line in my brain. Gotta get a taste of it, I can't help it. Needles in my veins.
So tell me, can you hear my voice in the static?
I don't know about the whispers.
A flat line in my brain. Wanna talk shit and make it a habit. Or get the fuck up out of my face. This life is so pathetic.
I'm gonna bug with that some more for sure. right here, I have a higher octave of the melody that I sang through. I just haven't comped it yet. So like this whole last chorus would be a higher octave doing the same melody and some ad libs and stuff. Like a whole bunch of stacks of like singing and screaming right there. Yeah, and it's got that little tag at the end. I forgot that part at the end is gonna be heavy. So yeah, dude, that's the top to bottom of this thing. There's singing and stuff that I got to comp at the end, but I'll kind of do that later just because it's almost 5 o'clock. So yeah, let's hang for a bit, and then I think that'll probably wrap it up for working on this song today. I know we didn't do a ton, but to be honest, I kind of wanted to like keep the workload small because I knew I was going to be fucking with the stream the whole time. Let's see. Hannah Blood said, would you guys ever consider getting a drummer to track any of the MIDI drum compositions we create, or to be more efficient to keep it programmed? We definitely would. Like that would be, I think, really cool. But it is, you kind of nailed it on the head, man. Like for us, this is still like a new project that, you know, we want to, you know, build into something real. And I think for us, being able to just be fast and just the two of us, I say fast knowing that I fucking take forever, but you know, he and I having the ability to make everything top to bottom is, I think, too good to give up at this point. But I think having, you know, someone who is like an actual part of the band bringing, you know, their creative sensibilities to the drums would be really cool. I will say though, Nick is like, he is very good at writing the drum parts, because I mean he's been you know, creating these instrumentals you know, top to bottom for years now, and he's really gotten good at it. So, you know, from my perspective, it's pretty cool, because it's like, you know, I'll have a couple ideas here and there, or like, oh, we should spice up this fill, or, you know, what if we change this pattern or whatever. But like, you know, he really knows how to write the song, you know, with the drum parts making sense with the guitar. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like I kind of think of it like how like for my you know, day job, I'm a video director, but also an editor. And so I kind of think of it like that, where like if a director knows how to edit, it makes you a better director, because you understand what the post-production process is going to be like, and you can kind of like see 2 or 3 steps down the road, and it makes you really efficient. And I think that that's happened for him as well as a songwriter, of like, because he spent so much time, you know, considering, you know, what is the whole band doing during this riff, right? Like, what are the drums doing during this riff? You know, the complement between how he writes his guitar and how he writes the whole band. Like, yeah, he is a guitar player, but like, he's writing the whole band. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many parts that he's come up with where, you know, if the drums are doing something different, his idea on like the guitar part wouldn't be as good, or, you know, wouldn't make as much sense, or, you know, anyways, I'm kind of, you know, fucking rambling a little bit, but I guess the point is that it is something that I think that we can improve on our own to get it to the point where we're happy with. But I agree that I don't think anything could ever replace like someone who's, you know, truly amazing at drums. And I do feel bad, because I feel like for drummers in particular, like they've just really gotten like pushed to the side the most, because it's so easy to program drums now, which is definitely a shame. Gasoline Kiss said, was Time Kills Everything the first music video I directed? No. The first one I did was for like a local friend of ours back in the day. But I think the first MTH one I did was Hot Soap. So I think I did every MTH video except for Hyperreal. And me and my friend Eric Richter co-directed that. well, I say co-directed, but he directed it. I just kind of had some ideas and stuff, but he was really nice to give me a co-directing credit. And we kind of became fast friends, and he's like the guy now in heavy music videos. He's fucking killing it. Like, he just did that last Bring Me video, and it's so good, dude. I'm so stoked for him. What's up, Montal? Good to see you again, man. How are you? No, I think I've done, let's see, how many MTH videos? Hot Soap, Spit. I guess if you count Hyperreal, but that's only like half. Flypaper, Time Kills. And then I guess if you count like the new ones, like Nothing Lost and stuff. So yeah, I pretty much did most of the My Ticket Home videos, and then all the headcave videos and stuff. And then obviously, you know, I've done a bunch for other people. Like the biggest one that I just did recently was for an artist called Our Chronicle. It's really a great song, and I'm super proud of the video. But let's see. Oh, Gasoline Kiss said, I wish I could have been in the crowd for the Hyperreal video. I remember having a reminder for it when it dropped. Are you, Gasoline, are you from Columbus, my friend? Because if you are, that's a small world. Yeah, that video was really fun, man. I was worried that nobody was going to show up, but we had enough people to make it look good, so that was all that mattered. Montal asked, when did I get interested in design and recording? So pretty much like all of the yeah, I'm just gonna play some music in the background. All of the like skills that I've kind of like learned for music and music production have been like just from the desire to make like cooler stuff for my band, you know. So I would say I probably, you know, took an interest in that stuff pretty early on, you know, around, you know, late high school when we were taking the band more seriously. And, you know, and these were back in the days where you could put a lot of work in, you know, designing your MySpace page or, you know, working on a show flyer or something like that, you know, or working on a merch design. And so, yeah, man, I kind of, you know, all that, any of that stuff that I quote unquote learned was really just from a standpoint or a desire to, you know, I wanted cooler stuff for my bands, and we didn't have any money to pay for it. So somebody's got to learn how to do it. You know what I mean? So, and I was surrounded by a lot of people who kind of thought the same. You know, all of us, you know, tried our hand at, you know, graphic design or making videos or stuff, or t-shirts and stuff like that. So yeah, I just kind of, you know, really took an interest in it in the sense of I wanted to make better stuff for my own band was really kind of like the main reason I got into it. And video recording was the same thing. Although I will say that video recording I was into from pretty early days. Like I was into it from I was really into skateboarding before I was into like making music and stuff. And so like skate videos always had like some of like the coolest editing styles, and I was always really inspired by that. And so like we had you know, our little group of friends where, you know, we had our little home video camera and we were trying to make skate videos and shit. And so like I had videos on my computer where we were gonna do like, you know, we had our little team. Each person had their skate part and stuff, and you know, you'd go film tricks and then put them into the part and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, working on video editing, I think, was always something that I was really into. And then, like, I remember anytime we'd have like a film and literature class or something, and you'd get a video project as like an assignment, and dude, I would just fucking go absolutely ham. Like, I remember we had this one assignment or whatever, and I finished like a 15-minute, you know, short film or whatever with me and my friends, because we were all, you know, just having way too much fun with the video camera. So yeah, I would say I kind of always enjoyed it. You know, I think that for me, like, film and photo and music, they're all different sides of like the same coin. You know, you're just trying to like get an emotion across, get a state of mind across. So I think that's kind of always been in there. And then, you know, growing up with MTV and watching music videos, you know, like religiously every day after school, kind of just cemented that into my, you know, like creative desires. And then obviously once YouTube came around and you could just upload your own shit, it was like, dude, like the gloves are off. Like we were pretty, like, I'm pretty sure we were uploading stuff to our, like, you know, our little YouTube channels and stuff, like I want to say 2005, like within roughly like the first year of YouTube. And it was yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. Gas and Kiss, no, I was living in a small town in Kansas when Unreal came out. Was finishing up school. I used to go to the local recording store in that small town every week to see if I could find a CD of Strangers Only, but I think they got so annoyed and then they ordered the Unreal CDs right away. I went into that store a couple of weeks after the album dropped and they made sure to tell me there was something in the new release section I'd want to see. Oh, dude, that's so fucking cool, man. That is so cool. Yeah, the physical, you know, releases and stuff is like something that it just feels like a long time ago because we're not touring and stuff anymore. So, but I've got my copies of, you know, the CDs and the vinyl stashed away in a drawer somewhere. Dude, I was actually just talking to the guys the other day because the 10-year anniversary of Unreal is going to be next year, right? Next September is going to be 10 years because it was 2017, so 2027. And I really want to do like a vinyl release for it. I think it'd be so cool because it's never been pressed on vinyl, and it'd be so sweet, dude. Like throw some bonus tracks on there. Yeah, I think it'd be really, really cool. So that's like a perfect timeline too. Like it's far enough away that you've got time, you know, we can figure it out with them, but close enough that it's like exciting to think about. So, you know, don't quote me on it, but I really, really want to try to make that happen. Montal said, yeah, classic beginning. It's pretty cool. You kept in touch with the audiovisual side till this day. Yeah, man, absolutely. It was kind of like, you know, once I stopped doing music full time, I knew I still wanted to, you know, do something creative. And, you know, you can make way more money with a video camera than being in a band. At least, you know, in the immediate short term. And I do really enjoy it, man, for as much as I've sometimes, like, you know, sometimes I'll be working on something and wish I could, you know, get away and work on music. But I don't know if you can hear, there's an ambulance blaring right now. Can you guys hear that? Anyways, yeah, no, it is definitely still cool to be able to, you know, work on something creative. And even if it's like, you know, something that I like you never thought you'd be working on, but like working on, you know, commercials or like, you know, some documentary or something like that, you can still find like still satisfying when you make a cool, you know, you compose some piece of music that fits the mood just right, or, you know, there's some flashy edit that's really cool. So it's still fun. Gasoline Kiss said never got Strangers on CD, but I did cop a vinyl when Rise put them back on the store. If you do a vinyl release for Unreal, I'll give you all the money in my bank account. It won't cost that much, but yeah, man, I really would love to do it. Montal said, man, I need that vinyl. Bought my first player 3 months ago. Dude, I'm right there with you. I have, it's so funny. I've been in bands for so long and never got into vinyls, never had a record player. But I got like the classic, like the you know, the Audio Technica, like everyone's first record player, like whatever that model is, as as a Christmas gift this past year from my sister-in-law. And it's sweet, dude. I only have a few records, you know, but it's pretty fucking cool to be like, there's something about sitting down and playing music where you're not connected to the internet in any way. It feels like it's just yours, which is like, sounds so kind of cringy to say, because like obviously I'm 34, so you know, plenty of my life was, you know, you're playing a CD or, you know, like parents had records and stuff like that. But we all just gotten so used to streaming that like it's like refreshing to be like, oh yeah, let's just, you know, throw on you know, a vinyl or whatever that's just for me. You know, it's a cool feeling, man. Actually, okay, so I have a you guys are the perfect people to ask. We are working on we want to do a vinyl for Pure to a Fault, the last record that we just did. And we had everything ready to go, and then all of us just got busy and we never, you know, put the order in with the print company. But I have all the artwork done. I have obviously, like, I have all the music. You know, I mixed everything, so I have all the files and everything that we need. I have a couple bonus tracks that I want to put on there as well, and I think we have everything sorted out as far as like what kind of color we want to do, like the splatter and all this sort of stuff. But so like my question is, like when you're buying a vinyl record, do you think, like, are you more stoked about like the visuals and the like collectability of it, or are you more stoked for like the audio quality and like the way it's gonna sound? Because I've been talking to people, and a lot of people have been saying that like mostly it's really just kind of like about like the collectible and the artwork and all this sort of stuff. But I'm curious what people think, because like doing the like the crazy colorways and the splatters and stuff like that, obviously it's like a little bit more expensive, which means you have to charge a little bit more. But everything that I see online, anytime people are doing a vinyl, like they're fucking going crazy with the colors and the splatters and the design, and it's just like, it's so cool to look at that I feel like it's hard for people to go back to like just plain black or, you know, regular or whatever. So I'm curious, you know, what y'all have opinions on that. I kind of think we have it sorted out. Like I kind of know what I'm gonna do, but I would like to know what people think. Let's see. Lizzie, yes, I know, we're working on it. I think it's gonna be cool. Cool lyric sheet. Stoked for any unique colorway. Okay, cool. Montal said, I'm pretty new to this world, but I just like to have music on vinyl. But when you have a crazy vinyl with sick artwork, that's a plus. Okay, sick. Travis said, both for me, they get used as decoration on our music wall, and we can take them down and listen to them and frame some of them. Hannah Blood said, vinyl's pretty pricey, so when buying it, it's nice to have extra goodies included. Lyrics, photos in the sleeve, design on the product. Gasoline Kiss, usually if I get plain black record, it comes with a poster or some extra liner art. Plus, I really like having physical media. Okay, cool. That's what I was thinking. Like, the way I'm kind of, really all of us, but like the way I was thinking of it is like, there's not gonna be like, we're not gonna print that many of them, right? Because we're not a like that big of a band, so like not trying to like make a bunch of money off of them, but how can we pack as much value and like as much cool shit into one thing as possible, to where like it feels like special that you got it. Do you know what I mean? Laviche said, I don't have a player, and the only vinyl I own by the French Screamo band Ditro is basically just wall art in my room. Okay, sick. See, I think that's totally fair, man. I think so much of it is like, you know, it's just cool to like to get it and like open it up and look at the pictures, and like I feel like any sort of like exclusive, you know, way to make it exclusive is really cool. And that's kind of how I'm approaching it, of like I don't know if you guys have ever had this experience, but like, you know, when you buy something and you're like, you actually feel good about it. Like you're like, man, I'm so glad I got this thing. Like, this is so cool. Like it's, you know, whatever, any type of product, whatever it is, whether it's like clothing or like, you know, I don't know, some, you know, piece of furniture, whatever it is, like something that you bought and you're like, man, this actually feels like it really is valuable and like something I care about, right? Like that is the feeling that I want to give people if they buy something from our band, no matter what it is. Like when I was focused on our merch store and we were printing our merch, like you know, I was like researching fucking, you know, t-shirts and, you know, like shirt fabrics and printing styles and all this sort of stuff, because it's like anything, you know, like trying to sell somebody something, like I want people to feel good about what they got, of like, yes, like this is actually, you know, this is worth what I paid, and hopefully worth more, in the sense that like I'm proud and happy to have it. So that's kind of my goal with the record, with the vinyls especially, because like, dude, that's the other thing, is it's like it's a 12 song LP, and it's like almost 50 something minutes. So like we have to do a double LP. There's no choice. And so we have like some space on the fourth side. So I was like, dude, let's throw in some fucking bonus tracks, man. Like I've got some live recordings from the shows we played last year. We have a B-side that's like pretty much finished that I think would be really cool to put on there. So I'm like, man, if this it's gonna be, you know, it's already a lot, you know what I mean? Like a double LPs are expensive, and we want to do some crazy artwork and splatter and all this shit. So it's like, all right, it's already gonna be, you know, like a treat if someone wants to buy this. Like, let's put as much cool shit into it as we can. So all that being said, I have to talk with the guys, make sure we're ready to do it. But pretty much I think like all of the creative assets are ready to go, as far as if I'm thinking correctly. I think I have to mix the live recordings, but other than that, it should be pretty much done. Gasoline Kiss says, any chance we'll ever be able to hear the scrapped album from between Strangers Only and Unreal? There is a 100% chance that you'll be able to hear that, because I'm working on mixing it right now. We are thinking about dropping that next, actually, of like, we have all these demos and stuff that we're working on writing and shit, and, you know, we're just kind of bored and want to release something. So we're like, dude, let's fucking dig those things off the hard drive, and let's just give them a quick fresh coat of paint, and you know, send them out into the world. So yeah, that's my goal. It's so funny you asked that, because I literally just started yesterday, you know, transferring the files from like my backup hard drive onto my computer, and then like built up a mix session, and you know, it's kind of like going through the stems, seeing what it sounds like. And it's gonna take a little bit more work than I thought, but it has a charm to it, and it's gonna be cool. I'd say maybe 8 songs, I want to say, maybe more. I'll have to look back and see what actually is all on there, because some of those songs became songs on Unreal. Like there's like a really early version of Flypaper, like that riff is one of the first things we wrote post Strangers Only. There's a really early version of Through the Needle's Eye. That riff, the main riff from Through the Needle's Eye was written like way back in like the 2014 era, and then somehow it survived on to become a song. So yeah, I want to get those like cleaned up and mixed, and I think that'll be like a really cool, you know, just a little dopamine hit for us and for everybody, of like something we could release this year while we're writing all this new stuff. So yeah, that's the plan. Montal said, if you end up releasing those vinyls, what matters most is that you guys are proud of what you did. We know you're going to put a lot of love into that. Well, thank you, man. And I'm super proud. I haven't listened to that record in a while, Pure to a Fault, but the last time I did listen to it, I remember feeling really good about it. So that's definitely, you know, a positive thing, because, you know, we all go through phases of like, you know, sometimes you release something, and then by the time it comes out, you're fucking over it, and you're like thinking, you know, you just see all the flaws. But I remember feeling good when I listened to it, so that's a good thing. Gasoline Kiss says, was the riff from For All the Flies? I always thought that sounded familiar. Yeah, that's oh wait, the riff from For All the Flies. No, oh wait, are you talking about Through the Needle's Eye and For All the Flies? I think there is a similar riff between the two of them. There's a lot of like these like half steps in combination with the open fret, or the open, you know, the open string that Derek was writing at the time. Those two are in different keys, but it's a similar style. A lot of those half step pull offs are in both riffs. Let's see. Hannah Blood says, if Unreal gets pressed on vinyl, can we get Through the Needle's Eye as a bonus track? That's a great idea. I didn't think of that at all, but that's a great idea. Because, so funny enough, they were technically recorded at the same time. So like we did for Unreal, we did all of the instruments at this really nice studio in Texas called Sonic Ranch. So like we wanted, you know, we wanted a great drum sound. We wanted like, you know, a good live room, and, you know, all these different great mics and amps and this type of thing. So we went and recorded all the instrumentals at this studio, and we were like, we only had a certain budget, so we were like, how can we get the most out of this budget? Well, we'll spend like, you know, 80% of the budget to go and record all the instruments, because that's like the hardest shit to record. And then the vocals we could just do at our producer's house here in California. You know, he has a bunch of really nice gear, great vocal mics, no problem, cool. So we all go out to Texas, and we record all the instruments there. And so we recorded Through the Needle's Eye in that session. Originally it was going to be on the record, and for whatever reason, it wasn't. I think we felt it wasn't a strong enough song. I didn't have a chorus written for it. That's what it was. Or I had a chorus written that wasn't that good. It was something along those lines of like, we didn't have the chorus for that song, and so it just kind of got pushed off to the side. But the instruments were recorded during that session. So then what happened was, I had the stems from the instrumental recording, and then I just did the vocals myself at my home studio later on. And then that was when we wrote the chorus, and then it kind of became, you know, this bigger, you know, it became a song at that point. So your thought of putting it as a B-side on Unreal is a fucking great idea, because technically it was all kind of like written around the same time, if that makes sense. Fred absolutely knocked it out of the park. He's the fucking man. And I miss him dearly, and I hope he's doing good. I got to catch up with him a couple weeks ago. He lives like an hour north of where I live in Long Beach, so I should text him, man. I hope he's doing good. Leviche said, is Through the Needle's Eye not from the batch of post Unreal material? So it came out, yeah, so it came out after Unreal. So think of it like, it's kind of like a hybrid, right? Like the instruments for Through the Needle's Eye were all recorded at the same time, and in the same studio as everything from Unreal, but then it sat for, I don't know, 6 months, a year, however long, and then I wrote the vocals for it, and then recorded the vocals myself at my place, and then I mixed it, and it just became its own single kind of after that. Montal said, I hate you guys for making us wait all that time for Through the Needle's Eye to come up, but I'm not gonna lie, it was amazing when you released it. Listen to it every month, for a month, every single day. That's so sick, man. See, it was one of those things too, where like I forget about that song because it's not on a record, but I do think it's really strong. And that's a funny case where like sometimes like 80% of that song didn't change, like it was always there, but we just didn't have the chorus for it. And so it's just a perfect example of like, sometimes, you know, you'll have a song that, you know, you'll think that isn't, you'll be like maybe not that stoked on, but it's just missing this one little thing, this one little key piece, and then, you know, it feels fresh. And also I think there was like, we were in like a little bit of a weird headspace during the process of recording the reel, where like we were kind of like shying away from the heavier stuff, and kind of shying away from like lots of screaming on parts. And I don't know why. I don't know what we were like trying to do, or why we were thinking that, but like that song has, you know, a lot of screams in the verse, and, you know, I don't know, I just think it didn't get, you know, it just got kind of put on the shelf for a bit. But I agree, I'm glad we ended up recording it, and, you know, it all happens for the best, because it wouldn't have I wouldn't have wrote that chorus if I was, you know, writing it 6 months earlier, and, you know, trying to fit it into you know, the record process. And, you know, everything happens for a reason, so all good. I annoyed the fuck out of my girlfriend when Through the Needle's Eye came out, because I was playing it nonstop. That's so funny, dude. Oh man, I like to think it was just because you were playing it nonstop, but that's funny if it's like, you know, maybe she doesn't like heavy music at all, and so you're just like, you know, blasting somebody. I do forget that, you know, as a whole, I don't know, probably most of the population, you know, doesn't listen to music with screaming in it, and so that's funny to picture, you know, somebody being like, I mean, that song's not that heavy, so it's, you know, not that bad, but, you know, some people being like, how do you listen to this music? It's so angry, blah blah blah. But obviously I'm just, you know, used to it now, so to me I don't even think of it that way. But yeah, that's funny. Well, hey, if anyone has any other questions, or if you want me to play any more from the song, let me know. It's about 5:30 my time here on the West Coast, so I'll probably make dinner and close the stream in like 10 minutes. But any other thoughts, let me know. You said she wasn't really into heavy music. I could only ever get her into Deftones, like the softer songs. That's fair. I mean, those are just great songs. So I can understand that for sure. Yeah, it's funny. I feel like for whatever reason we were in, you know, that phase at that point of like not being as into the heavier stuff, or into the, you know, like even like the heavier side of our own band. You know what I mean? We were kind of like shying away from that, and I think we wanted to make these songs that felt like, I don't know, more mature or more complex, or I don't know what we thought. And so I don't regret it, because I still like the record, you know, but I feel like the record would have been better if we'd you know, just kind of like kept some of the edge, you know what I mean, and kind of blended them, which I think is what we're doing now, which is, you know, obviously what I'm stoked about. But Leviche said, what is your favorite food at the moment? Oh, that is a great question, man. I am like so boring when it comes to diet. You know, I eat pretty like clean whole foods type of stuff, but I've been really into like fish and seafood lately. Like my dad and I just did a like a motorcycle road trip where we took like almost like 2 weeks, and we just went all the way up the California coast, like all the way up to Oregon, and then turned around and came back down. You know, we just went up Highway 1 the whole way, and so obviously it's just like amazing seafood the entire time. And my dad had never been, you know, through that part of California and stuff, so, you know, I was like, I want him to have a, you know, try all this, you know, these great places where, you know, it's so cool. You can be driving up through any of these, you know, kind of like small little, you know, surf towns or fishing villages or whatever, and, you know, you throw a rock and hit like a restaurant with like the best seafood you've ever had. So yeah, fish has kind of been like the main thing. Honestly, like I think I like fell in love with oysters on that trip. There were some of the best oysters I've ever had, and it was so good. So that is my answer at the moment. But I will say, I'm not eating, you know, amazing food like that on my own at my place. I'm actually kind of craving it at the moment because they were so good. Robbie Rob, what's up, man? What up, King? When are you gonna hit that Metallica cover? What song do you want to hear, brother? Let me know. It's so funny. So like I've been, if you guys follow me on any other socials, I've been redoing the camera setup in the booth. I've mentioned this a few times. And so the goal is to, you know, do these streams just like we are right now, but do it not just during the editing process, like do the recording process, right? The whole thing. And something I'll do often, like while I'm, you know, doing a recording session is, like while I'm doing my warm-ups and stuff, is singing along to covers, right? I'll just cruise through YouTube and just throw on a song and just sing along, and it's so much fucking fun. And I think it would be like a great, you know, it would be a laugh and pretty cool to do during the streaming process as well. You know, people can be like, you know, try this song or whatever, and I'll fucking, you know, as long as it's nothing, you know, ridiculous that I don't think I could sing, I think it'd be fun to just kind of like, you know, freestyle through doing that. But what I think is so cool about having, you know, that new rig set up in there is like I can just take clips from that and have it, you know what I mean? So it'll be like, you know, yeah, I can and will, and, you know, sit down and do proper covers of songs where like, you know, you know, make an effort to get a great vocal track. But I also just kind of want to, you know, I think that kind of like just doing stuff live and on the fly will, I think it'll just make me better, you know what I mean, as a singer and as a performer, because it's like, you know, there's an aspect to the performance that's like, well, it's kind of like a show where it's like, you know, you're doing it live, you can't edit, you can't go back, you can't undo, you know what I mean? So I think that'd be really fun, man. Creeping Death, dude, let's fucking go. All right, I'll put it on the list, man. I haven't listened to that song in a while though. I gotta make sure I can do it proper justice. That's another band that I've really come around to like being super into lately. Like I've always liked Metallica for sure, don't get me wrong, but they've never been like, you know how sometimes it'll be like you'll like a band or whatever, but they don't feel like they're like your band. Do you know what I mean? Like you're never like, I don't know, like listening to them by yourself, or like, you know, going through a full album, or, you know, like when I get into a band, I get like, dude, I fucking get like absolutely obsessed. Like we'll be like watching it, all the interviews and documentaries, and trying to find like behind the scenes of them making the record and live videos and the whole nine, right? And I haven't gone like super deep dive with, well, actually, maybe I'll take that back. I feel like I kind of have with Metallica. But dude, I've come fully back around them. The fucking the live DVD of them in Seattle, I want to say, is fucking so sick. Like his vocals and him and Jason, the bass player, dude, Jason sounds fucking as good as he does. I'm like, what is, like, dude, that dude was so fucking cool, and such a good vocalist on all of their live stuff, and the way they sound together was just like, man. Actually, I'm gonna play that DVD as soon as we get off this call. That live in Seattle one is so fucking sick, and it made me have like a whole new appreciation for Metallica, because there's like something about his vocal delivery is like makes those songs feel so fucking like just like edgy and badass. And I don't know, man, like he had this sing scream, you know, like rasp, just, oh, I'm so envious. I've watched it so many times, like studying it, like just listening to how he sings and being like, all right, I want to do it how he's doing it right there. Yeah, it's so sick. So I'll throw that one on the list, man. I haven't listened to that song in a minute, but if I can do it justice, I will. I think I'd like to do like fucking Seek and Destroy. That's probably one of my favorite Metallica songs. That's like so much fucking fun to sing, dude. All right, guys. Well, let me know any other questions. I'll probably hang on for a couple more minutes and then we'll close the stream. I'll play the track one more time so we can listen to it. But before I do that, if you got any questions, let me know. Also, I don't know if you guys are avid or regular users of Twitch or YouTube, but if you want to follow the channel and stuff like that, you'll see notifications when I go live. I try to like post about it on, you know, Instagram or Twitter, but I fucking never use Twitter anymore. So I think, you know, for now I'm just gonna kind of like go live when I can fit it in the schedule when I'm working on stuff. But you know, as I kind of get this more dialed in, I think we'll get like a little bit of a routine going, so people can know, you know, when I'm gonna be live. So it's not just like, you know, trying to like post about it right when you do it, if that makes sense. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go. Let's go back into Pro Tools for a sec here. See, look, now my hotkeys are all working, and they weren't working before. I don't know what the deal is. But yeah, if anyone has any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll probably play this and we'll call it a day. But it's Friday, so I can't be streaming too late anyway, so I got stuff to do. Hopefully y'all are having a good one. Browse through here. Make sure there's no vocals unmuted. Leviche says I have like 1,000 questions. Well, dude, we'll just do more streams, man. We'll just come back. We'll just come back and do more streams. I think it'll be cool to do some structured ones too. We could do like, you know, like some breakdowns of, you know, songs from the past record. You know, I could do like some breakdowns of those mix sessions would be cool, because I have all that stuff here on my computer, would be cool. We could do like some reacts. I don't know, are you guys, I know some of you guys are in bands. If you guys like want to send your stuff in, we could do like, you know, listens and stuff and react to other people's bands. It'd be cool to like react to like just whatever new music. Like when I find something cool, I'll fucking show it to you guys. And there's actually like a lot of new bands that I'm pretty stoked on, actually. I feel like, and I said this on the stream last time, but I feel like heavy music is like kind of like flourishing right now. Like, I don't know, it feels like there's such a higher percentage of bands that I'll hear what they're doing and think it's really fresh and be into it. Maybe I'm just like less of a fucking hater than I used to be, which I hope so. But also I just feel like, you know, I feel like the styles and the stuff that I'm personally into is just kind of like, maybe it's come back around and it's in vogue again. But like, you know, the 90s, 2000s, you know, alternative style is like, seems very like very on at the moment in heavy music, which I'm all for it. So you know, I think it'd be cool to kind of like just shout out some cool bands and stuff that are doing stuff right now. Honestly, I'd be down to watch. Okay, sweet, cool, man. Yeah, I think you know, there's so much potential with doing these streams and stuff, and as I kind of like, you know, I keep working the kinks out of this stuff and getting it to where it's easier on my end of like, I kind of know, all right, this is working. I don't have to, you know, stress about setting it up or anything like that. Man, it could just be a fucking regular thing, which I'm super stoked for. So, all right, y'all. Well, I'd say I think ads are coming up again in like 2 or 3 minutes, so I'm gonna play this track one more time. I think I'll do with the vocals on. We'll hear what we have. We still didn't get to some of the singing that I wanted to get to, but that's fine. Like I said, I kind of wanted to just you know, keep it low key for this stream, because like I said, I'm still trying to fix the fucking fix all the streaming and you know, make sure that I'm doing stuff correctly on my end, because I'm still, your boy's still a little new over here. So all right, y'all, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Yeah, let's play through what we did, and then I'll take a break here after this and make some dinner. So I hope you all have a great Friday night, and yeah, dude, follow the stream for more. I'll be coming back on, either working on this song or some of the MTH stuff. We'll see. So, all right, everyone. Peace and love. I want to play this track. Enjoy. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
You want to keep tricking or you want to start pimping?